What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Dude Ranch DIY. My name is Jake. It is a Saturday afternoon. Me and Joe went and did a job this morning. We took down a maple tree that died like within the last month or so. Got super crispy all of a sudden over a house at a really good client of mine that we go to at least once every year. We were actually just there and filmed that video where we took down like 7 or 8 ash trees in the woods. Got that done this morning. I've been back in the wood yard and I have been cleaning up. As you can see behind me, I got the big oil drum out here and I'm trying to burn up some of these scraps. It has been such a hot and humid past couple weeks here. We've gotten a ton of rain lately, so everything is super wet. I've had a hell of a time trying to get that thing fired up. I've been using a little blower and everything. I actually resorted to just dumping one of the tote tops over back behind the brute force processor, and I dumped all the scraps out from underneath the brute force processor. I did a clean out on both the Eastonmade and the processor, because this stuff is just not, it's as you can see, it's just like kind of smoldering. It's really not burning all that well. On top of that, it is super hot and humid, hence the shirtless Jake out here today. But I wanted to show you guys a couple things. The last couple of videos have been on the brute force processor, courtesy AJ Shaver. Really appreciate you know, having that machine out here. It's been awesome, but we have some other stuff to do with the Eastonmade today. So we have all these ash rounds already bucked up out here in front of the Eastonmade, and Sarah and I are headed out this upcoming Tuesday. Like I said, it's currently Saturday afternoon. This upcoming Tuesday, we're headed to Portugal for the honeymoon. So we will be gone for about 2 weeks, which is a lot of time. So I went ahead and did a little clean out underneath the Eastonmade, but I'd like to just get all these rounds, you know, split up, or at least a bunch of them split up. That way, you know, when I come back, Chris and I can kind of hit the ground running and get going. The other reason is because now that we have the processor, I want to try and clean up this whole area and open this up. That way, when I come across logs that can't go through the processor, I can bring them over here for cutting, you know, for the Eastonmade with the box wedge. Now, speaking of the box wedge, when we came back, or at Boonville, prior to Boonville, I had reached out to Andrew and I was like, Andrew, I would love to try that tall 4-way. That way we have just a 4-way for some really, you know, crotchy, nasty pieces, and a single way. That also, because it's a tall 4-way, you can drop it all the way down and use the top part of it as a single way wedge. In addition to that, we got ourselves a 7-way pizza box wedge. Now, this pizza wedge is called a pizza wedge. It's not only for pizza wood, obviously. Pizza is just indicating that it is smaller spacing on the splits there. So these spacings, I think this pizza wedge is gonna be in the machine 90% of the time, because as you guys know, I like my wood smaller. If it results in more scrap, so be it. But if I can make a bunch of really small, perfectly sized square pieces in a hurry, it's worth getting all the scrap. Now, you know, keep in mind, this is still a 7-way. It's split in the same number of pieces, but you can see that spacing there. I think it's like 2.5 inches. And I'll bring you over here to the standard 7-way, and you guys can see that the spacing is a lot greater here. It's probably like 4 inches, you know. It's a lot bigger. So those pieces, although you can control the up and down with the size of the pieces, you know, you're still left with a larger width here. Now, me personally, if I was burning, because I burn for heat in a wood stove, these pieces out of the standard 7-way box wedge are perfect size for me. But for a lot of my customers, and again, I'm catering to those that are just sitting around fire pits and stuff, you know, recreational burners, as a lot of the YouTube firewood channels have deemed them, this 7-way pizza wedge is perfect for that. Not only are the pieces nice and small and uniform in size, but because they're smaller, they will dry out a lot quicker, which is great for me because, you know, even though I did this big expansion, I have over 100 totes here. I counted them up the other day. I think I'm at like 105 full totes, and I'm running out of room quick here between, you know, the empty totes and the full totes and the log pile, and now the processor back there behind the log pile takes up space. So that's kind of the situation I'm at. Enough chit chat and talking. This has been like a 5-minute intro. I'm gonna fire up the Eastonmade and we're gonna get to splitting here into that tote over there.
Oh my goodness. Guys, this Eastonmade 2228, let me tell you, now that I've fixed that issue with the screw and the pump and the second stage and everything, this thing is back to, at least back to where it was, if not, oh, I'm probably screaming, if not even better than where it was when it first got delivered. And boy, does it crank through the wood. I mean, this thing is just taking, you know, like 28-inch rounds of ash knotty stuff. You saw that one piece I pushed off. Could I have split it? Like, yeah, I definitely could have. The machine would have split it. But the box wedge isn't ideal for that, so there's no sense in making really nasty, gnarly wood for no reason. I'll just put it off to the side, and when I put in that new tall 4-way or the 6-way wedge or something, we'll split it with that, and it'll just make better wood and not turn, you know, a nasty, gnarly piece into absolute garbage going through the box wedge. Because the whole point of the box wedge is to feed it, you know, for the most part, fairly clean wood, and it will give you pretty clean wood. If you're feeding that box wedge, any of the box wedges, on any of the machines, whether it be a Yappa, a Wolf Ridge, a Timberwolf Alpha 6, or one of these Eastonmade machines with a box wedge, if you're feeding it crap, you're gonna get crap, you know, for lack of a better term. If you're feeding it nicer wood, the cleaner, straighter wood you can feed it, the better it's gonna be. I mean, this thing is like one step shy of a processor, and it's the same thing with the processor, you know, that brute force. You know, that thing can only go up to 18-inch. This Eastonmade, the sky's the limit. You know, with that pullback arm, it just makes it so easy to split, you know, nice wood. You know, this is some nice size stuff. You know, you get a bigger piece here. We've talked about this in the past. You get a smaller, medium piece here, and then you get some really small stuff here. It really gives a nice variety, and I haven't sold a lot yet this season, but I think my customers are really gonna like what's been coming off this thing, and I think they're gonna like even more when I put on that pizza wedge that I was showing you before. That was kind of a little teaser. Unfortunately, I don't have, you know, the manpower and the time to do it today to slide that one in, but this Eastonmade 2228, it is a absolute animal. I titled a video in the past, It Doesn't Care, and it just really does not care like what type of wood you put through it. The box wedge is a little more picky, but I mean, I don't think there's a piece of wood that this 2228 couldn't split with that tall 4-way wedge. I just truly don't. It has so much power, and it's so fast for having the amount of power that it does. It's amazing. So I'm gonna finish stacking up this wood here. We'll get this tote out of the way, and then we'll probably bring in another one. Alright guys, as the Eastonmade 2228 cools itself down, we got another full tote of nice ash firewood. We put quite the dent in these rounds that were over here. Again, as I was mentioning before, this is that round that was just all knotty and crotchy and stuff. You can kind of see there was like a crotch over there, a crotch over there. It was like a 3-way kind of. Oh, that sounded dirty. But we got a couple more rounds over here. I'm not too concerned with those. I might split them up, you know, once I finish up the video. But yeah, another nice tote of ash firewood. As you guys know, I label them all with the date, and I've been trying to, you know, stack them as full and tight as possible, and then I try and, you know, taper off the top, as you see there, so the rainwater kind of sheds off from side to side. But the grizzly bars are doing a great job in, oh, there goes the cooler, in 2 totes. That's all the stuff that the grizzly bars filtered out. So, you know, all of that stuff otherwise would have been in these totes. So these grizzly bars are just so helpful. I'm so glad that they're working as well as they are. I really think that they should be offered
you know, on these attached conveyor machines. You know, I think there's a wide enough variety of uses of these machines. Not everybody is just, you know, loading directly into a dump truck. And even if you are, I still think some sort of filtration is necessary because, as you guys know, these box wedges make a bunch of scrap. You know, you can see what's coming off the conveyor there. And then I have this tote under here. And, you know, there's some firewood pieces that fell through, but there's also a bunch of scrap. Now, that is also due to the fact that a lot of this wood is a bit punky. You can see on the outside here, you know, that's not super solid. Some of this stuff is a little bit past its you know, expiration date, but we're you know, making do with what we got here, and we're just trying to, you know, not let anything go to waste. So that's probably going to wrap this one up, guys. I hope you enjoyed. I hope you don't mind the fact that I wasn't wearing a shirt. Unlike some firewood YouTubers that change their shirt, you know, 7, 8, 9 times during a video, this guy's not wearing one at all. Although I do appreciate everybody that gave me a shirt for their channel or business out at Boonsville. I will definitely be wearing them in the future. Today, it was just so hot and humid. I decided to, you know, wear the old birthday suit, so to speak. So, I had a couple things I wanted to say. While Sarah and I are away, I'm trying to stockpile at least a couple videos so I can at least get out 1 or 2 videos during the 2 weeks that we're away. I'm hoping that I'll be able to get more. The plan actually is that while I'm away, Chris is going to be commandeering this Eastonmade and bringing it over to his house where he has a bunch of wood to split up. We took down a couple big tulip trees at his property between him and his neighbor kind of bucked it all up to like all random different lengths and dumped it on Chris's property. Chris has just recently gotten a wood stove and possibly a wood burning insert, so he now needs firewood, and although it's tulip or poplar, whatever you guys want to call it, you know, it still burns and it burns hot. So he's going to be commandeering the Eastonmade while I'm gone, and the plan is that he will be filming some of that. Don't hold me to it. Don't hold your breath. I'm hoping that he's able to, you know, get some footage and then forward that to me while I'm, you know, in Portugal, and I'll be able to, you know, splice together a quick video. So you have that to look forward to. If that doesn't happen, we have the tall 4-way wedge and the 7-way pizza box wedge to look forward to when I get back. We will definitely be playing around with that. We also have another little alteration, I guess, to the whole log lift bag thing. AJ Shaver hooked me up with a pretty cool bag holder, I guess, so it doesn't really tie up the tractor. So a lot of cool things, basically, is what I'm trying to say, coming in the future. Just bear with me because these next couple weeks might be a little bit slow as far as content goes, but you know what, I got like 400 something other videos in the archive, so if you're new to the channel, go all the way back to the beginning and start from video number 1, and by the time I get back, we'll have new videos and new content out. So as always, guys, if you like the video, give it a big thumbs up. If you haven't done so already, click that subscribe button down below. I'd really appreciate it. Go check out the link in the description below for any Dude Ranch merchandise. We got a couple different shirts and some stickers and stuff. So if you're looking for some swag, that's a way that you can help support the channel and get something in return. Questions, comments, or feedback, throw it down in that comment section. But for now, I'm Jake. This is Dude Ranch DIY. Thanks so much for watching. We'll see you here next time.